Hi, and welcome back to Betty. I'm your host, Cynthia Thompson, and do I have a treat for you today? Have you ever wondered how a person makes a guitar? You know, we see musicians playing them, but you never really think about what all it takes to make one. Well, my guest today, Steve, is here, and he's going to show us how to make a guitar, and I might be able to get him to play a little bit for us, too. Thank you for joining me today, Steve.
Thanks,
So,
Cynthia.
Steve, before I start, we have so many pieces here. I want to know, how did you get started making guitars?
Well, I can thank Uncle Sam. I was in the Navy, and of all the things, I spent a year in electronics school, and I worked on jet aircraft, F-18s, and instead of going off and working on airplanes and using that technical knowledge to destroy things or get people from point A to point B, I thought I'd do something funner. And these things, they fly, but they fly to a different dimension, so I think that's better.
They can take you some other places, huh?
Yeah, like to outer space.
So, a simple question, how do you even get started when you make a guitar?
Well, you know, if you play guitar, you kind of have an idea of what type of guitar you like. You know, you fantasize about different things. You see these different guitars, and you think, I like that shape, I like that type of wood, that color. Gosh, I really wish I had a guitar like that. Well, you know, if you wish it, you can make it happen. You don't have to go to the store and buy it. You can make it.
Don't you think it's much better if you make it yourself, you have more of your soul as a part of the instrument?
Well, if you do it right, yeah. If you do it wrong, then you just got a piece of junk.
And that's never
But
good.
you know what? A piece of junk can make you happy too. So
That's true too.
And it can make you proud, especially if you can play it and you can do things with it.
So tell me, what type of wood do you even use to make a guitar? How do you even start?
Well, like on this particular guitar, there are several different woods. I have, you know, there's a swamp ash body, right, which is a highly resonant wood. There's a lot of room between the pore space. It's wood from the bottom of a swamp ash tree that grows down in the swamp, and so because of all that pore space, but it's still a tight grain, it's lightweight and it's highly resonant. Then the neck on this is maple, and then it's faced with rosewood. So we have 3 different woods on this particular guitar. And I'm particularly fond of swamp ash when I build a guitar.
So does it matter what type of wood you use, or is there a particular wood you
Yeah,
have to
it
use?
does. If you took particle board and made a guitar out of particle board, it would sound really bad. You know, some of the Chinese imports are particle board with paint and a lot of lacquer on top of them, and that's like playing a guitar with a wet blanket on top of it. And you have to get hotter and hotter pickups, and then, you know, add different electronics to even make the guitar sound any good.
You know, you shared with us some of the parts of the guitar. Can you tell us all of them?
Well, yeah, you know, you've got the body right down here, and you can do all sorts of different things, all sorts of different shapes. And when I paint the guitars, what I like to use is nitrocellulose lacquer. And on this particular guitar, I made it look old. So when I did the finish, it's called a Lake Placid Blue. It's got a light colored mint pick guard on it, and I took steel wool and I kind of, you know, sanded the pick guard, and I got the finish, the patina off the pick guard, so that as I interact with it, it starts to really show wear. And then with regard to the body, as I went ahead and buffed the lacquer finish, because when you paint with lacquer and then you do a clear coat with lacquer, instead of just spraying it like a polyurethane and having it turn out shiny, it turns out sort of satin, and you have to really start building up layers of polish, and you use different grits of polishing compounds and buffing pads. And I just sort of applied pressure in different places, and you know, I went through down to the primer in different places, and on the back I kind of did the same thing. But before I did all that, I didn't do a really deep wood grain filler. So I left a little bit of wood grain just to give it a little bit of a different kind of look.
Character.
Yeah, right, character. And so then when I went with the hardware, the jack plate, the bridge saddles, you know, the machine heads right up here, those are all the names of those particular parts. What I did was I got these parts and then I sent them to a guy in Maine and had them relic And that's what they call that process. They relic these parts. And with regard to like your bridge saddles, there's a specific way you want to relic these so that it doesn't degrade the bridge saddle, because anywhere that your strings come in contact with the body, that's a point that can affect the tone of the guitar.
Really?
Yeah, so you don't want these to become like rusted, you don't want them to be degraded, pitted, or anything like that. You still want them to be fully functional and a high quality bridge saddle.
So is this part right here wood too?
No, this is it's plastic. They used to use Bakelite way back when. Bakelite will continue to shrink, and it will start to do something called potato chipping over time, where it will start to just like bend like a potato chip will when you fry it. But this is just like a regular polymer, and like I said, I sanded it down and just gave it a nice satin patina.
So the neck of the guitar, what is that made out of? You told us maple. Is it always maple?
Pretty much. That's you can also do out of there are rosewood, a variety of woods, but the most common is maple.
Huh. So with that being said, we've gone over quite a bit. Let's take a short break and go over really how you build the guitar. Okay.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
Everywhere that we go, he makes people laugh and makes people smile, and I feel like I have that quality.
He's the one who always takes me fishing. I watch golf with him and
I watch him cook, because when I grow up, I want to be a cook too.
we have the same faces like this.
Dad is the one, when you fall, that picks you up.
That unconditional sense of presence and reassurance is really what makes him my father.
Wow, Steve, you really shared a lot of stuff with us about the guitar. We're not even finished with making one or building one. So we talked about the body and this plastic part. What was this called again?
The pick guard.
The pick guard. So when you get up to the string sections on the neck, how do you do all of that?
All right, so, we put these machine heads on here, right?
Uh-huh.
And these are called the machine heads. And we've got a nut, and this is a bone nut.
Uh-huh.
And I fashioned that nut and slot it.
What is that made out of?
This particular nut is made out of bone.
Bone?
Don't ask me what kind of bone. Comes from China. I don't know what it is.
You sure it wasn't somebody in your backyard?
Well, it wasn't somebody from my backyard, but maybe a Chinese backyard. I don't know. It's probably animal. I'm going with animal. Anyways. What I use are these fret files right here.
Fret files?
Yeah, to go in, or not fret files, nut files.
Nut files.
And then I based on the diameter of the string that's going to go through there, I will file down and I'll angle back just ever so slightly so that string goes through and down and make it very smooth. Because again, this is another area where the string is making contact with the body of the guitar, or with the guitar.
How many strings are on this guitar?
There are 6.
Is that normal?
Yes.
Oh, that's for all guitars?
Pretty much, yeah. I think there is a seventh string, like crazy guitar, but I haven't played one or messed with one or seen it yet.
Wow. So how do you know if everything is balanced? Do you have something to check that whenever you put the strings on the neck of the guitar?
Basically, I don't want this to be completely flat. I love a flat neck, but I like the slightest bit of relief in there. So one thing that can happen with a neck, you'll notice this brown stripe that goes down inside. And so that's called a skunk stripe, by the way, on the neck. There's a metal rod that runs down the inside of this neck, and you can see right there's an opening. So you take a hex key and you stick it down in there, and you can adjust the neck relief. And what you would use is a tool like this to go in and check that neck relief, right? Pretty sure I need to go that way. And so I just look for the slightest bit of daylight right down in this area right in here. You know, I like it to be flat down through here, and just a teeny bit of relief right there. And that's when I know I've hit the sweet spot. And then when I'm playing the guitar, you know, I kind of tweak it a little bit too by feel. There's visual, then there's by feel. And then also I go in and adjust the radius of this bridge right here to match the radius of this neck. And what I use are these radius gauges right here. And that again helps you see this where it just goes right there on top. And you go and check your radius up here, check it there, everybody's good. And that's setting the radius so that as you play, you just roll right across that neck nice and smooth.
Wow.
Lots and lots of adjustments to make the guitar feel as great as it can.
And a whole lot of tools, too. I see you have a mixture of a petroleum jelly and something else.
Yeah,
what is that for?
The Vaseline and graphite is one of my little ancient Chinese secrets. I don't know if they played these electric guitars in ancient China.
Of course
but if they did, then, they were traveling to outer space, too. So basically what I do is I take the Vaseline, put it in there, and a whole lot of graphite, and I mix it up into this little solution. And, as I change strings, I will dab it at every contact point. I'll put it here, right, on each bridge saddle. I'll put it I'll just gum up, put goops of it right up here in this nut, right up underneath this string tree. And so as I bend, as I use this tremolo bar and those strings are moving back and forth, it just really greases the rails and makes everything super slick so that things don't stick.
Wow.
And they go right back to tune. Your guitar doesn't get out of tune.
That's a lot of work to make a guitar.
Well, it's love is what it is.
Yes. About how long does it take you to make one from like start to finish?
Well, if I were to just work at it just straight up, a couple months. Because paint has to cure and lacquer has to cure and things need to set up, and then you're set up once you get everything in and
you put that little extra love into it too, right?
Yeah.
About how many would you say you've made so far?
I'm not really sure. I want to say around 100 maybe or more, but I'm not sure. It could be less. I haven't really paid attention. But I built a lot, and I only have 3 left that I've ever built. Everything else was either sold or traded or.
Wow. So do you make other instruments? Because there are other string instruments.
No, this is the only instrument that I make.
Have you attempted to?
No.
Well, one day you have to make a violin for me.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
So tell me, I've seen other artists with 2 sets of necks on the guitar. Do you know how to do that?
Well, I can make a two-necked guitar. I've never done it.
Maybe you should make one.
It would just be twice the work, but it would turn out the same.
Yes, it would turn out the same too, because I'm assuming the body would have to be a lot bigger.
Oh yeah, it would be really big. And what I'd probably do is make one side a baritone and the other side just a straight-up electric. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the next one you're going to make,
and
right?
A baritone is half bass, half guitar, so that gets real fun, real fast.
We've been talking all this time about you making guitars. Do you know how to play? That's not a trick question.
No, I play, but I wander. It's more of a meditation thing. I don't get up and play in front of people, but I wander, and it brings me a whole lot of peace.
Yes.
So yeah, I play.
Do you teach lessons by chance?
No. I teach my kids.
Ah, okay. So, have you passed on this art form to your children about how to make a guitar?
I will say they are teenagers.
Oh. Okay.
So one day, I hope they are my little grasshoppers.
When you can sit them still.
But right now, their attention span just isn't there.
Uh-huh.
Although my 14-year-old daughter has been asking if we could build a guitar together, so I am getting ready to do that with her.
So it's time to do it.
Yeah.
You know what? We've been talking about the guitars and all the things you do with them and how you build them. Did you want to share anything else with our viewers?
Yeah, so, you know, if you do build a guitar and you want to personalize it, one thing that I did do with this is I went to the hobby store and I bought some water slide paper, and then I ran it through a printer and I found some font that I liked, and I made my own name out of water slide, just like you would use on a model car or a model airplane, and made a water slide. So when I built the guitar, I put my name on it, I put the date that it was built on here.
Whoa.
And then I painted the lacquer over the top of it, and so, you know, it's not going anywhere. You know, it's on there.
That is so neat.
Yeah, I picked that up from a friend of mine, Whit Hill, who's another really good friend of mine who builds great guitars, lower tine guitars.
You know what, Steve? You have really shared so much information with us, and it seems like it's kind of easy to make a guitar. Maybe you can teach me one day. But I want you to play for us. Would you play us a couple of songs?
Sure.
Okay. Let's clear this up.
All right.
Take our break, and you're going to play us a little bit.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Wow, you did really good. You answered all the questions.
There you go.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. Stop the texts. Stop the wrecks. Visit us at stoptextsstopwrecks.org.
Come here.
I love you, Dad.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Steve, thank you so much. You took me from your workroom up to your rec room, and this is a really nice spot up here. I bet you come up here and play a lot, don't you?
I've never been here before. I was kind of hoping for outer space.
You are so funny. But this is a nice room. I really like it. So tell me, you're going to play us a couple of songs, but you brought an amplifier with you, too, back behind here. And you said someone made that, too.
Yeah, so my friend Paul Gussler of Oldfield Amplifiers, he owns Oldfield Amplifiers, lives over off Carmel Road here in Charlotte. He built this amplifier. He's also built 3 amplifiers for Bob Weir of the Grateful Dead.
Wow.
Some guys in Mo, and he builds guitar amplifiers for a band called Humphrey McGee. And he builds one of the most exquisite amps I've ever played through in my life. So I'm really grateful to Paul for what he does and what he does for the music scene for Charlotte.
Huh. So, you know what? I'm going to get out of the way so you can play us some songs.
Okay.
I really love that. You are really good. You're a lot better than what you think you are.
I have no idea what just happened.
So you did really go into outer space, huh?
That's where I like to be.
That was really great. You got to come back on my show.
Right on.
Okay?
Cool.
And I want to thank each and every one of you for watching my show, A Better You, here on Public Access 21, every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Thank you so much. This was really great. And that's how it is in TV land. So do we want to take this mic off?